Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today, we've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin the story. I, 37F, have been with my husband, 38M, for 21 years and married for 10. Last year, I had a physical affair with a man for 3 weeks, though we have been in contact for several months. Eventually, my conscious mind couldn't take it, and I came clean. Needless to say, my marriage was shattered. After some time and reflection, my husband and I made the decision to work it out, though it has been a rocky last couple of months that took a turn yesterday. My husband took me to a hotel resort. In my mind, this was a big opportunity to connect on an emotional level without the little one and maybe physically as well. Anyway, after 10 minutes or so in the room, I heard a knock and it was my affair partner and his friend. I was not expecting that. As soon as I saw him, I felt sick to my stomach and started to cry. The only thing that I wanted was to leave that hotel and be somewhere else. My husband took me aside and explained to me that he hired a private investigator and tracked him down. He found out where he lived, which I don't even know, and asked to meet. Had he refused to meet, my husband told him that he would go to his house and reveal everything to his fiancée, which I also didn't know he had. He wanted to know everything about our affair. Everything from how often we met to physical characteristics to the sex itself. Of course, I told him how the affair got started and things like that, but I was hesitant to talk about how my affair partner made me feel and, of course, the sex. I have avoided doing so because of the shame and embarrassment that I felt. But in all honesty, the main reason was that I didn't want to hurt my husband anymore. He's always been a bit sensitive about his body and our sexual life in general. Since I came clean on the affair, I have been seeing a therapist. She told me that when it comes to infidelity, men tend to focus more on the physical aspects of the affair, at least more so than women. The reason that I didn't walk out of that hotel room is because my husband told me that he needed closure and that he needed to better understand. Basically, had I walked out that door, our marriage would be as good as over. When he said that to me and saw the look in his eyes, I had never seen him be so serious. So I stayed. Long story short, that conversation was soul-crushing. My affair partner asked his friend to wait outside the door, and he told my husband everything. He explained to him how we came into contact, for how long, when we decided to make it physical, how often, when, and where. Basically, there really wasn't anything that wasn't covered. As I mentioned earlier, he told my husband things that I had already told him before, but I made sure to leave out no details. However, I think the worst part was when my husband asked him why he pursued me. Apparently, we went to the same high school, though we never met. My husband and I are high school sweethearts, so I wasn't hanging out with other boys during that time. He was my first everything. So when he saw my picture on social media, he contacted me, and we took it from there. When my husband pressed him on why I was there, he said that I had a pretty face with a great smile. He said that from our conversations, he felt like I was sexually frustrated, and he wanted to bang me. Basically, he lied to me every step of the way just to have sex with me. Destroyed wouldn't begin to describe how I felt. After there weren't any more questions, my husband asked me to wait on the balcony, and he talked with the other man. After a short conversation, he went to the bathroom, and my husband joined me. He began telling me how the private investigator followed him for 2 weeks and found out that he was engaged to a woman who comes from a family that's well off. We talked about how she was probably his meal ticket and how there's a pretty high chance that I was not his first affair. Anyway, we talked about the horrible conversation that took place. After a while, I don't remember how long it was, but my affair partner finally came out of the bathroom wearing a robe. After my husband and I walked back in, he disrobed and was completely naked with a full-on erection. I quickly turned away, but my husband just kept looking at him. After what seemed like forever, he told the man to get dressed and that if he ever sees him near me again, he will rat him out to his wife and do everything he could to make his life miserable. So he left. I was shocked, to say the least. Later, my husband said that he gave him 2 Viagra pills because he wanted to see how big his cock was because I wouldn't tell him. He wanted to know if he still measured up and that now he knew the answer, and he started to cry, which made me cry as well. He then told me that he was a misogynistic pig who used people. He did say that he is glad that he got to meet him because it made him realize how neglectful he was towards me and how it put me on a path with a man like that. I made sure to take responsibility for the affair, but my husband was having none of it. He vowed to be a better father, a better friend, and a better husband. And here I am. To be honest, I couldn't sleep last night. We ended up coming back home. I wouldn't dare stay in that hotel room. The thing is, I don't know how I feel about what happened. If you had told me last year that my husband was capable of doing something like this and going to these lengths, I wouldn't have believed you. So, does anyone have any advice? I do love him very much, but I wonder if the damage is too great. Not just to our sexual lives, but to our relationship as a whole. Is this something that we can come back from? Any help would be appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.